In 1972, Aretha Franklin returned to her roots, not just musically, but spiritually. Already crowned the Queen of Soul with a string of unstoppable R&B and pop hits, Aretha shocked the music world by stepping away from the charts and into the church for one of the most powerful musical statements of her career. The result was Amazing Grace, a live gospel album recorded in a Los Angeles church that would go on to become the best-selling gospel album of all time. But behind the scenes, Franklin also participated in a series of studio gospel sessions during this same period. Less publicized, yet deeply revealing. These recordings captured the raw emotion, vocal precision, and unwavering faith of a woman reconnecting with the very foundation of her genius. Aretha was no stranger to gospel music. Born in 1942 in Memphis and raised in Detroit, she was the daughter of Reverend C.L. Franklin, a famed Baptist minister whose church, New Bethel Baptist, was a spiritual and cultural center for the Black community. Aretha's early years were steeped in the sacred sounds of the choir. By age 12, she was touring with her father's revival sermons, playing piano and singing spirituals with a power that belied her age. Fast forward to 1972. Aretha was already a superstar, but despite her success in soul, R&B, and pop, she felt a pull back to gospel, a genre that offered not only a return to her origins, but a platform to express the deepest parts of her being. Alongside the historic Amazing Grace church recordings at the New Temple Missionary Baptist Church, Aretha spent time in the studio refining and expanding her gospel interpretations, delivering renditions that were controlled yet spiritually unbound, technical yet deeply human. While much of the attention has rightly gone to the live Amazing Grace recordings, with gospel legend Rev. James Cleveland and the Southern California Community Choir, Aretha's studio gospel tracks from the same era offer a more intimate, polished lens into her artistry. Tracks such as You'll Never Walk Alone, Holy Holy, and How I Got Over showcase her ability to balance spiritual fervor with studio discipline. Her voice never sounded more alive, at once pleading, praising, and preaching. These sessions were not just exercises in nostalgia or a career detour. They were a profound statement of identity. In an era of political tension, civil rights struggle, and cultural change, Aretha's gospel recordings served as both a personal sanctuary and a cultural declaration. She reminded the world that gospel wasn't just the music of the church, it was the foundation of soul, the core of Black American expression, and the birthplace of rhythm and blues. Technically, the recordings from these studio sessions were stunning. Aretha's piano work was fluid and emotionally resonant, her vocal control masterful. Each run, breath, and pause was delivered with intention. Backed by skilled musicians and gospel choirs, the arrangements walked the line between traditional gospel and soul-infused interpretation, creating a sound that was both reverent and revolutionary. While the church recordings of Amazing Grace became legendary and were later immortalized in the 2018 documentary film, the studio gospel work remains a lesser-known but equally vital chapter of Aretha's artistic legacy. It's a reminder that the studio can be as sacred as the sanctuary, and that when Aretha sang gospel, she wasn't just performing, she was testifying. The studio gospel sessions of 1972 gave the world something rare, a superstar returning home, not for the spotlight, but for the spirit. In those recordings, you don't just hear Aretha Franklin, you hear grace, pain, joy, history, and the timeless power of a soul connected to something greater.